My name is Kayla. I'm a senior consultant at the Improve Group, and I have led the evaluation team over here at the Improve Group on the Bush Fellowship Program. This multi-year evaluation is examining the impacts of the prestigious fellowship. Christy, I'll have you introduce yourself.
Hi, thanks, Kayla. I'm Christy Ward. I'm Leadership Programs Manager at the Bush Foundation. I'm excited to get to talk with you today. This has been a project we've worked on for a long time that I've been excited to get to lead with the evaluation over the last 20 years of the fellowship program.
And I will jump in and introduce myself. I'm so glad to be with you all. I'm Anita Patel. I'm the Director of Leadership Programs at the Bush Foundation. And I'm so excited to kind of delve into this conversation.
In your own words, tell us more about the Bush Fellowship. So how would you describe its intended impacts and why was doing an evaluation important?
The Bush Fellowship is really focused on extraordinary leaders. There are incredible people with amazing ideas, and we know that through support, they can just soar and help our region to be a place where every person can thrive. And so the Bush Fellowship is all about what do you need to be as strong as possible to really lead deep, effective change that is focused and has equity at its center. And so this evaluation is really thinking about, can we have a better understanding of how, through the experience of the Bush Fellowship, do fellows grow? How are they inspired? How are they equipped? How are they connected to make the change that they talk about wanting to make when they apply for the fellowship?
How has your perspective on evaluation transformed over the course of this project?
What I really appreciated over time is our ability to hold evaluation goals out in front of us. So think about, what are we trying to do and keeping our process consistent enough to be able to build from year to year. And along the way, and at that same time, holding flexibility so that we can keep creating a stronger process. That is part of what that developmental choice was about, that created an ability for us to learn together. And that took a responsibility and a willingness to be honest and even vulnerable in a moment to be able to acknowledge growth and understanding. So I think overall I gained an even greater appreciation of holding people at the center of the evaluation. And if you do that, you might get to enjoy the amazing gifts, stories, and inspiration and experiences that they're willing to share.
Christy, what you raised resonates so deeply. So I'll just build on, I think two words stand out for me, and that's purposeful and emergent. And both of those things I think were at play throughout this. And I really want to name kind of the ability of the Improve Group to keep bringing us back to our purpose and to be open to the things that emerge along the way.
What about the findings have you found most interesting or powerful?
And the first is that it seems no matter the year, so the fellowship's been around for over 60 years, and no matter kind of what year someone's responding from, we're seeing that through the fellowship, these leaders kind of grew their vision from looking at kind of individual change to focusing on larger scale and thinking about that systems level. The second thing that stands out to me is seeing, again, across the different years of the fellowship, people reporting that the experience of that fellowship, the learning that they kind of sought, the connections they established, help them to lead in ways that make them more equitable leaders.
What is your favorite story or example from this project?
I think, with your leadership and alongside your team, you helped dream alongside us of our imagining what could we learn through this impact narrative study. We were able to see and hear about Farhia's journey. Not only did we get to look back over the last 10 years, but we heard directly from her colleagues, from her students, members of our community. The narrative studies and quantitative data, the phone interviews, the combination of all of that, we're now able to share with the region what is possible and what can we show when you put investment in others.
Yeah, and I'll just add on to that. I think one of the unexpected joys I think that has come from this is I've gotten a number of notes and calls from fellows after they did this reflection about the fellowship, because they just wanted to say more, like it sparked more in them. And with the team at the Improve Group, you've actually unlocked something in fellows where they're able to now share things in a way that they maybe hadn't before, and are saying, I want people to hear my story. I want people to be inspired by it, so they can think about a fellowship, so they can think about how they might, embrace being a leader of change in ways they maybe never imagined. And I don't know if everyone can say that about like filling out a survey or having a phone conversation. And I think part of that is your style too, right? These are extraordinary leaders who have drive and vision, and you have a style and a tone that welcomes them in, that welcomes them to share that. And that's such a gift. So that's been one of the exciting things for me as well. I'm curious, Kayla, if you would talk about kind of what's inspired you about this work.
I think what stands out to me and is so inspirational is it was easy to kind of come into this project and understand that we were evaluating the impact of the fellowship, which is focused on an individual. And then understanding how that investment in an individual, that change in understanding their ability to create change, creates so many new change makers in communities. Every time we interview a fellow or talk to them, they're often talking about, I helped, empower individuals and understand what they need and create connections and equip them with what they need to create their change. So being able to kind of see how an investment in one individual creates all these different changes throughout a community has been honestly quite inspirational.
Thank you, Kayla. Thank you for your work on this project, all of your leadership, and inspiring us to keep thinking differently about how we can do it, and bringing us together to celebrate you and Improve Group in this moment.
Great. Thank you both so much. And thank you again for sharing your story. And I'm really excited to hear about how our connections will continue to grow moving forward.
Happy 20th anniversary, Improve Group.
Happy 20th anniversary, Improve Group.